to another edition of SquadTalks over coffee. I'm here today with our very own, we call him Beware, Braden Ware, for those of you who don't know. And we're going to jump into a cool topic today. Last episode we talked about blogging. Is it still important? Is it still a thing? And today we're going to talk about the fast burn. We've got another upcoming video called the slow burn, and that'll make more sense as we jump into it. But welcome today, Beware.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. So Beware gave up coffee for how long?
Oh, it's been at least 2 months now.
So is this the first cup?
I kind of limit myself. Like, if it's the right vibe, I might have a cup.
Okay.
Maybe once every other week.
Yeah, so if he gets a little jittery, a little shaky, a little anxious today, we'll know what's up. But I gave up coffee one time for like 2 months. It was a dark period in life, I'll be honest with you. I'm never going to do that again. So we always like to give a quick shout out to our mugs here. I'm sporting a WP Engine mug today, which is the hosting company that's been great for us over the last several years. We've been in partnership with them, and they keep all of our WordPress sites up and online.
Yeah. I'm sporting the mug I'm most proud of, Google Partners. We had to earn that title through some testing and through Google vetting us through some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, actually. But yeah, that's for an agency our size to be Google Partners. It's pretty cool.
I like how he said we, like that we all did. Like he didn't say he, but it was a lot of he, if we're being honest. So, but I noticed you got a haircut for the show today, Beware.
Yeah, cool. Just for the show. Yeah,
just for the show. I
in
shaved
the back
my
right
head.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, I shaved my head, not the face, but the head. Like
you
I
moved
gotta
it
do
down.
both. Yeah. So anyway, well, enough of the small talk. We're going to jump right into the topic today, which again is the fast burn. What is the fast burn, Beware?
The fast burn is the paid side of traffic. When we think of traffic, usually we think of it in two sources. There's organic and the free traffic that you kind of build up over time once your brand's been established online for a while. But the paid side is kind of, we call it the fast burn because it's a quicker way to jumpstart into some of that traffic that takes a while to build up otherwise.
So like if you start just brand new business, you're a startup or you're a business who just got a web presence, obviously you're not going to go right out and rank for a bunch of keywords in your space likely. So that's one scenario where the fast burn, the quick ad play would make sense.
Yeah, that's a perfect scenario, yeah. Or just a company that hasn't done much to get themselves ranked. They haven't done much content marketing. They built a website and then, didn't feel like they needed a digital presence or just left it there and didn't understand that what it takes to get traffic. And then supplementing some of that work with paid is just it's a faster way to get to that end result of the long burn. So.
The long burn, the slow burn. And again, to add some context, that one of the upcoming videos on the slow burn that we're going to do is going to be about content marketing, blogging, the things that you can do over time to help you rank in search engines. But, call it renting space versus owning space maybe, but the fast burn of ads, digital ads, especially Google search, which we'll talk a lot about today, is going to be that quicker burn to get you where you're looking to be. So anything else to kind of give an overview of what we're going to dive into today? Yeah,
and then maybe the other use case for that being like the short burn, but also could be like burst. So like campaign focus, burst or spike or whatever you would
I'll
like
use that next week, Taylor. I will. I'll work it in, burst,
I'm copywriting
spike.
it. You can't use it unless you pay me.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But yeah, there are plenty of companies that have been established and have great organic traffic, but maybe they want to promote one specific product or service or initiative or whatever, and they want to put together a plan around that to make it more front and center or drive a specific, profit center or whatever part of their business that they see opportunity in. So.
Sounds good. I introduced you, but I didn't introduce what you do here at the Squad.
Oh, yeah.
I think we kind of did last week when you were walking through in the background.
Oh, did
that's how we do things here.
Yeah.
But tell us real quickly what you focus on the day-to-day here at the Squad.
So Digital Strategist is my title. I work a lot with our partner clients when they come in. I'm in meetings a lot of times. I create the analytics and reporting dashboards. I'm running the actual paid side of any initiatives that we set forward.
Like day trading in there on those things?
Yeah, day trade, Forex, and stocks. Yeah, that's mostly what I do. No, and most of the campaigns that we set up are all actually require maintenance. So a lot of my time is spent making sure that they're performing well, dreaming up new scenarios and testing type things that we can do and suggesting to clients, general research for the overall account strategy, if we should be getting into this or that, or this tool might help here, and I don't know, a lot of different things. That's what's fun about my job.
The thing that Beware does that a lot of our team here is wired this way, it's just kind of part of our DNA, our tagline is tell your story, grow your business, is think with a business development mindset. And search, research on keywords, research on paid strategies is definitely involves business development. It's about what's being searched for, what's not, where are the areas of growth in a business, as a direct translation into what we do in those spaces. So
yeah, aligning with the actual business goals and everything like that is a really important piece.
So how should we view ads? Like the Marketing Squad's history, we've had some different takes on ads. We've in our early days, we're probably a little more anti outbound ads, just as a part of being an inbound marketing agency and aligning with HubSpot. Along the path, paid search was always kind of a fish where the fish are. You're not like interrupting people in the masses.
Right.
So it feels pretty aligned, but again, with social ad, even it became a pay-to-play type strategy.
Yes.
It was embraced by HubSpot. It was embraced by inbound marketing type agencies like ourselves. So, we're not walking around, disparaging ads, on the digital side.
Right. Yeah.
However, how should we view them? How should clients view them?
Yeah, I think like in what you're talking about there, like the inbound versus outbound. There's an inbound and outbound way to really think about ads and to execute on them. Like we're all about providing a solution to people, and our clients have great solutions to common problems. So the way that we go about that is through testing and exploring different opportunities that exist in the digital space that maybe the client hasn't tried before. So it's an investment. So in that there's an understanding that the first thing we try might not knock it out of the park, just because there's so many different variables that we've got to get right. And that's really how I like to explain it, and kind of not coach our clients along, but kind of get them on the same page.
He worked those baseball terms. As a former college baseball player, he worked in home runs, coaching.
Jeez.
So we're getting some singles and doubles along the way.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while hitting a home run out of the park.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Exactly.
When it comes to testing, jumping in, getting started, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Like I said, we got to get a lot of things right to really nail it. So you've got to get the right channel, the right message, the right offer, the right copy, like everything that has to come together. The right budget. It all. There's a lot of people online that'll tell you that they understand it and they know exactly what you should be doing, and there's just one size fits all solution. But the truth is, there's really not.
You should run from those people, you're saying.
Yeah. If somebody tells you that they know exactly what's going to work for you from day one, I either want to meet them and become their best friend, or you should run for the hills.
Or they're a chatbot, maybe. Maybe they're a chatbot.
Could be a chatbot.
Anybody could be a chatbot.
Anybody. Yeah, that's true. You never know. It's getting pretty conversational. But yeah, so it's a lot of testing has to take place, and when I explain it, I like to talk about how there's thoughts and theories about whether this might work, but for your specific business, not even just your industry, but your specific business, we got to figure out what's the right fit specifically for you. And the only way we can get there is through actually testing some things and pressing play and figuring out what works through data, not just through thoughts and feelings and gut. So,
one thing I've noticed as I watch our team execute on these strategies is it's not set it and forget it.
No,
it's definitely experiment, test, report back to the client.
Yeah.
Just in our general cadence of how we work with our partners, we're meeting them monthly, establishing some strategies quarterly and the ebbs and flows of the day to day is where a lot of these, week to week, these tweaks are being made, these adjustments, these changes, the valuations.
100%. There's campaigns that we have that have been going for years, but they look very, very different than they did the day that they were started than where they are now, just because of, like you said, there's things that happen in the market, there's things that happen with the algorithm, we change as people, so how we engage with things changes over time, how the brand's language can change over time. We need to adjust our ads to that. So I don't know, there's a lot of different things that have to be kept up with in order to make a campaign hit a home run over the long term. Yeah.
Even a grand slam.
Or a grand slam, yeah. Baseball terms only.
So talk budget with me real quick. Somebody comes in, two scenarios. Somebody's got, just the budget where you're probably in your sweet spot. You're licking your chops, like, oh man, what I could do with this search budget.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes in and they've either got a more bootstrap budget or maybe it's just that the space is really competitive. And we talk sometimes about our own space where it used to be relatively inexpensive to buy clicks for web design, Louisville or some term like that. And as you get national players in, crowd in the market, all of a sudden it's $28 a click to get in. We're just flat not going to pay that. So we've got to get creative, and Beware and our team does a great job of coming up with creative solutions on whether it's display or retargeting along with search. But talk a little bit about those two scenarios. That I've got the big budget or I've got the bootstrap budget.
Yeah. So the first scenario is definitely my favorite. Anytime someone comes to us with, kind of a blank check and they're like, what should we do? Search is the first place I go, and if we can, provide enough research, information, data to earn their trust, to spend that, it's very consistent. The most consistent channel for us is definitely Google search. It's just a lot more predictable when you're willing to.
For those who don't remember, back in the day, 2 years ago even, it was Google PPC. When we talk search, that's what we're like,
Yeah, PPC AdWords.
Yeah,
it used to be
like me.
Yeah.
Refer back to stuff like that. So
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's all right.
So
yeah.
Continue.
So that scenario is definitely my favorite. And, we like to use the word omnichannel, like where we include other things along with that. But usually there's a channel that we focus on that's the primary driver of, clicks and ultimately conversions, which is what we're trying to get to with everybody for sure. And then the other side of that is the second scenario was that, that someone's coming to us maybe with a more bootstrap or, we got to get creative to drive traffic. A lot of times search isn't an option unless it's a very niche or niche, depending on where you're from.
Yeah. I like either. Yeah.
You cool with either?
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those keywords or a group of those keywords, it's really hard for them to be able to afford that and do it well. So we look at other things like the Google Display Network, where you show up you still bid for or compete for keywords, but you don't show up in the search engine results page. You show up along the side of other websites with like a more visual actual display ad, which is why it's called that. And then the social ad play is a lot of times somewhere that we orient for someone like that, where we can be more bootstrap and be very narrow with our targeting and have opportunity to craft the message, make a visual that stops people while they're scrolling, and then hopefully come to a landing page that aligns with that and can convert them there. So really, like I said, there's no one size fits all solution. But that's kind of how we would approach those things, and definitely in the latter scenario, the lower budget, we'd focus heavily on the content marketing and the holistic approach of what we do, where we've got SEO working, we're putting out great valuable content that is bringing value to the target audience and delighting them, and
a little HVAC work going on. Shout out to Chapman Heating and Air.
There you go.
Here doing this little service work.
Yeah.
It's real here. It's real. This is only 75% scripted. I mean, this is
75.
Yeah,
I'd be doing much worse.
Very organic. So, I didn't look up on a board just there for my next cue. I didn't do that.
No, you did not.
What's working right now for what are you loving right now? What's working? What's the sweet spot? What do you see?
Yeah, for B2B, for sure, it's when they come to us and maybe through testing or research or whatever that might be, it's that they've trusted us to attack search full force, and we stop optimizing for clicks or impressions. We're really starting to work on the cost per lead and driving the business that way, because like I said, it's so much more predictable. Google search is a place where people are showing intent to find what us and our clients are providing a solution for. So that's what's most consistently working.
They say a man doesn't step on the lot lest he wants to buy, right? You know what I'm saying? In the car business.
I reckon. But yeah, I mean, we've run successful campaigns on every platform here in the last year, but it's the most consistent, I would say, is definitely Google search for business to business. With some of our B2C clients, we are seeing some really strong return on ad spend on Facebook and integrating some of their customer
Facebook
lists.
And Instagram, the joint.
Yeah, so in that scenario, Facebook owns Instagram, for those that don't know, and through the Facebook ads platform, you can control both Facebook and Instagram. So to your point, we actually do lump those together, but in our campaigns, we'll run ads that are just for Instagram or just for Instagram stories even, or just for Facebook, or we get really targeted, especially for some of our more trusting clients that are willing to put up the budget and let us do testing on multiple things, because our goal is to figure out what's going to work consistently, and the more that we can try and test and have the collaboration with the client, the faster we get there, and ultimately we start working towards cost per lead, or it's an e-commerce scenario and we're actually seeing the money that's coming in for every dollar we put into it. So we can talk about scaling, and got a conversation tomorrow coming up I'm really excited about, where we're going to propose a pretty hefty budget, and the client knows about it and they're excited to see the details and jump in with us. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun working with e-com too, just because it's so much more like that.
We'll sometimes we share the clients' names if we know we've got permissions. Other times we save the names to protect the innocence, as they say. But I know we've got one client case study that we've talked about in the last 6 months or so, where just a large AdWord budget, where the cost of conversion has been decreased by $30, $40.
Yeah, in some months it's been 60. Yeah.
Some months it's been. So you heard it here first.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we're seeing and winning with clients. Obviously, there's scenarios where it takes a little longer to get traction, where we're just in there. But I love that our general approach is test, measure, try new things, refine. We're not just going to set it and forget it. We're not going to put it on autopilot. We've just found that those strategies don't work in this space. So
yeah, it's definitely counter to probably what a lot of agencies feel the need to do, but I love that here I have the ability to talk to you guys and say, like, this is important, and get to allocate a lot of my time. Like the director of partner marketing, they all trust that time is well spent, and they allocate time for me to spend and work on that and make the campaign successful. So yeah, that's it.
So we've talked about some measurements, some things that we've seen work. How do you know it's working? What are the tools that you use? How do you measure?
So reporting is super important. Another red flag if you're working for somebody or working with somebody, and
they don't have Google Analytics installed on the site yet. That might be a problem.
That would be a super red flag.
Step one.
Yeah. Leave them now. If you're in that scenario.
We had a sales call this morning, Marshall and I, where that was uttered. We've been working with somebody for years. They built our site. We don't even have Google Analytics installed. Yeah.
Mind blowing. I don't know how they even operate. But yeah, that's step one. But there's steps even further that we believe should be taken. We use reporting software to pull in data from any source that we're spending money on or putting like consistent effort into, and then build custom dashboards so that our clients can see 24/7, the status of any campaign, and we're looking at like we talked about earlier, the actual metrics that matter. So my job.
I like how you said that, the metrics that matter.
The metrics that matter.
Should like coin that.
Blog or something. Maybe.
Hashtag the metrics that matter.
Yeah.
Somewhere down there.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Taylor's our videographer, photographer.
Yeah.
My man behind the camera. So
Yeah.
I just talked to him because he's here. I'm not going to ignore him.
No,
Go ahead.
he's a little more than a robot.
I cut you off. Go ahead.
No worries. The struggle for me and people in my position a lot of times is that we're super close to the data and we understand it like pretty well, and we forget that a lot of times, business owners don't care to know that, or they would rather me just be monitoring it and bring up the the bullet points. And so getting to talk with business owners and be like, what do you care about, what matters, and then have the software to build dashboards that when they look at it, it's kind of like a 1 or 2 page overview that really tells the story of what's actually happening, versus where my tendency is to get lost in the numbers. And so I'm always constantly fighting to create reports that the business owner cares about.
Yeah, because they care about, like, do you understand my brand story and can you tell it? Mm-hmm. Did you generate leads for me and did that grow my business?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Where I care about,
meeting's over.
Yeah.
There we go. So and that's like we talked about in our last video. That's a lot of who we work with. Business owners or on a leadership team, VPs of marketing and sales, business development. So.
Yeah, definitely in those scenarios when working with marketing teams and stuff like that, the reporting dashboards and things like that are a lot more in depth and speaking their language a little bit. But we always try to make sure we have that managerial view that whoever the owner is that's trying to keep a pulse on things can actually get that information without having to talk to me or somebody else directly.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Well, appreciate you being on the show that I'm kind of hosting. Other people might kind of host, and kind of give people kind of a maybe next step they can take. We've been doing that.
Yeah. I guess if you're trying to do it on your own, maybe we'll start there. That's kind of how I started, just jumping in and figuring things out. There's a lot of content online, and I started with it was the Google Ads Academy when I started. Now it's called Google Skills Shop. And they have very comprehensive tests and it's like a school. They have lessons that you go through, videos, quizzes. They really put you through it. Takes a long time, but for me,
it was. You played baseball at?
Yeah, I played baseball at Google Ads Academy.
Google Ads Academy, that's fantastic.
It was
you heard
really
it here
fun.
first.
Yeah.
Lee University.
Lee University. That's right. Go Flames.
Put that hashtag too. Go Flames.
Go Flames. Hashtag fired up, I think, was there.
Oh, there we go. All right.
There you go.
So the Google Skills Academy, you call it?
It's called the Skills Shop now. Yeah.
I'm blowing up the brand.
Get it right, man. Come on.
So the Skills Shop is a thing.
Yeah. And I learned a lot from people that are doing it. Like, I had friends in the industry that were willing to spend some time with me, because really the Skill Shop is a jumping off point. You get the basics, you understand it, you can set up campaigns, but really understanding the full landscape of how to compete there, because that's what you're doing. Like, if you're going to do it on your own, you're going to have to compete with people like me and people like that are doing this for a living. So saddle up if you're competing against me. But that's
a challenge. You just threw the gauntlet down. So it'd be much better to work with them, and you can do that as well. We work with partner clients every month.
Yep, that's right.
So that's an opportunity too. So.
Yeah, we'd prefer you do that for sure.
You want to give the folks your handles on the social medias, all of the ones that you have that you like to throw out there?
Yeah, I keep it simple. I'm Braden Ware on all channels, so Taylor's going to put it right here. I told him I wanted to do this because it made me feel cool. BRAYDEN WARE, and that's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, but I'm for stuff like this, I'm a lot more active on LinkedIn. I post at least 3 times a week. So.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. Obviously, we're going to be consistent with these videos. Have a little fun, inform, and another episode of Squad Talks over coffee.